Imagine driving hundreds of miles to your campground, only to be turned away before you even park. Not because your reservation was canceled, not because your RV broke down, but because of one everyday item sitting inside your RV. And here's the scary part. Thousands of RV owners unknowingly carry items that are perfectly legal at home, but could lead to fines, denied campground entry, or even legal trouble once they cross a state line. In today's video, we're counting down 10 common RV items that could get you into legal trouble in 2026. Let's start with one of the most overlooked mistakes on the road. If you like camping off-grid, carrying extra gasoline probably sounds like common sense. The problem isn't the fuel, it's what you're carrying it in. Many RV owners pour gasoline into old plastic jugs, water containers, or worn-out fuel cans without thinking twice. But gasoline expands in hot weather and releases highly flammable vapors. It needs containers that are specifically designed to handle that pressure. Now picture this. It's the middle of summer, and your RV has been sitting in the sun all afternoon. You open the rear storage compartment, and you immediately smell gasoline. That tiny leak from an old container has just turned your storage bay into a potential fire hazard. That's exactly why many campgrounds, ferries, tunnels, and some jurisdictions have strict rules about transporting fuel in approved containers. The fix is simple. Use certified fuel cans. Keep them upright, and only carry what you actually need. Saving a few dollars on a cheap container isn't worth risking your entire RV. And speaking of things people pack without thinking, the next one has ruined more holiday camping trips than you might expect. Nothing says summer camping quite like a fireworks show, until campground staff tell you they're not allowed. Many RV travelers assume that if fireworks are legal where they bought them, they're legal everywhere they camp. That's simply not true. Many national parks, state parks, and private campgrounds prohibit fireworks altogether because one careless spark can start a wildfire that spreads in minutes. Imagine unpacking your chairs, firing up the grill, and getting ready for the 4th of July. Then, a campground employee notices the fireworks sitting on your picnic table. Instead of enjoying the evening, you're explaining why you brought something that's prohibited on the property. It's an easy mistake to avoid. If you're craving fireworks, enjoy a local public display instead of bringing them with your RV. You'll help keep your trip, and everyone else's, much safer. But the next item is different. It's perfectly legal in many situations, until you launch it in the wrong place. Drones have become one of the most popular pieces of gear for RV travelers. And it's easy to understand why. A campsite beside a mountain lake looks incredible from 300 feet in the air. But that's exactly where many people get into trouble. Too many travelers assume every beautiful location is fair game for flying. In reality, many scenic areas, including numerous national parks and other protected locations, have restrictions or outright bans on recreational drone flights. Depending on the drone and how it's used, registration requirements may also apply. Imagine finally reaching that breathtaking overlook you've seen all over social media. You launch your drone. Minutes later, a ranger walks over. Not to admire your footage, to tell you you're flying somewhere you shouldn't. That 2-minute flight suddenly becomes the most expensive part of your vacation. Before every flight, check the local rules. It only takes a minute, and it could save you a major headache. But while a drone is easy to spot, the next item looks completely harmless. In fact, thousands of RV travelers pack it without giving it a second thought. A bundle of firewood might seem like one of the most harmless things you can pack for an RV trip, but in some cases, it can also be one of the most problematic. Many RV travelers cut firewood at home, or they save leftover wood from a previous campsite, planning to use it on their next adventure. The problem is that untreated firewood can carry invasive insects and tree diseases. Those pests can spread into new areas without anyone realizing it. Imagine arriving at your campsite after a long drive. You unload your firewood, then you notice a sign, "No outside firewood permitted." It's not because the campground wants to sell you firewood. Many parks, campgrounds, and some states have restrictions designed to stop destructive pests, like the emerald ash borer and spotted lanternfly, from spreading into healthy forests. In some areas, transporting untreated firewood across state lines or into protected recreation areas may be restricted. Ignoring those rules could mean a fine, or simply being told to leave your firewood behind. The safest approach is simple. Buy your firewood close to where you'll burn it, and always check campground or state regulations before bringing wood from another area. It may seem like a small detail, but protecting local forests is one of the easiest ways every RVer can help preserve the places we all love to explore. Speaking of things that can unexpectedly ruin a camping trip, the next item is something nearly every RV depends on, and if it isn't properly maintained, you may not even be able to refill it when you need it most. Your furnace, your water heater, your stove. For many RV owners, propane powers almost everything that makes camping comfortable. But like anything else on an RV, propane systems don't last forever. Cylinders can rust, valves wear out, inspection dates expire, and eventually, a refill station may refuse to fill a tank that no longer meets current safety requirements. Picture arriving at a campground on a cold evening. You stop for propane on the way, only to hear, "Sorry, we can't refill this tank." Now you're searching for another supplier while the temperature keeps dropping. Even worse, if a damaged propane system contributes to an accident, investigators may look closely at whether it was properly maintained. Fortunately, this is one of the easiest problems to prevent. Inspect your propane system before every travel season. Replace worn parts promptly, and don't ignore inspection or requalification dates. A quick check today could save you a major headache tomorrow. But our next item catches people because the laws change depending on exactly where they're standing. Quick question: how many of these items are already in your RV? Let me know in the comments before we reveal the top 3, because the next mistake surprises almost everyone. Here's one of the biggest misunderstandings in RV travel. Someone buys cannabis legally in a state where it's allowed. Then they drive a few miles into a national park. What many people don't realize is that federal land operates under a different set of rules than the town they just left. Imagine stopping at a dispensary on your way to a weekend camping trip. Everything about the purchase is legal. An hour later, you're parked inside a federally managed recreation area. The scenery hasn't changed, but the legal situation might have. That's why experienced RV travelers never assume the rules stay the same throughout a trip. They check where they're actually going, not just where they started. Because sometimes crossing one entrance sign is all it takes to enter a completely different legal environment. And if that sounds confusing, the next item becomes even more complicated, because simply crossing a state line can completely change what's legal. By now, you've probably noticed a pattern. Most RV owners don't get into trouble because they're trying to break the law. They get into trouble because they assume the rules are the same everywhere. The next 3 items prove just how expensive that assumption can be. For many RV travelers, carrying a firearm is simply part of being prepared. But here's where things get complicated. Firearm laws can change dramatically from one state to the next. A permit that's valid in one state may not be recognized in another, and rules about transportation, storage, or magazine capacity can also differ. Imagine you're on a cross-country trip. You haven't touched your firearm since leaving home. You get pulled over for a routine traffic stop in a different state, and suddenly, you're trying to understand laws you didn't even know existed. That situation has caught more than a few travelers by surprise. The safest approach is simple. Before crossing state lines, take a few minutes to review the laws for every state on your route. If you're unsure, secure and transport your firearm in accordance with the applicable regulations. A little research before you leave could save you from a very stressful encounter later. But while firearms receive plenty of attention, the next item is something most drivers don't even realize exists until they see flashing lights in the mirror. Nobody enjoys getting a speeding ticket, so it's easy to see why products claiming to beat police radar get so much attention online. The problem is that not all of those devices are treated the same under the law. Many people confuse radar detectors with radar or laser jammers. Radar detectors may be legal in some situations, But radar or laser jammers can be prohibited or heavily restricted depending on where you are and the type of device being used. Picture installing one because a friend swore it worked. You forget about it completely until an officer notices it during a traffic stop. What seemed like a clever gadget suddenly becomes part of a much more serious conversation. Before installing any electronic driving aid, make sure you understand exactly what it actually does and whether it's allowed where you plan to travel. Because the last thing you want is to create a legal problem while trying to avoid one. And now we've reached the item that probably affects more RV owners than any other on this list. If you tow a car, utility trailer, boat, or anything else behind your RV, here's something you might not realize. Just because your towing setup works doesn't mean it's legal. Many RV owners spend thousands of dollars upgrading their rigs, but they never stop to check whether their towing equipment actually meets the laws in every state they travel through. Depending on where you're driving, your towed vehicle may be required to have a supplemental braking system, working taillights, properly rated safety chains or cables, and other required safety equipment. Some states also have specific requirements based on the weight of whatever you're towing. Imagine you're halfway through a cross-country trip when you're pulled over for a routine traffic stop. The officer isn't interested in your campsite reservation or how far you've traveled. Instead, they notice your tow setup doesn't meet that state's equipment requirements. What should have been a quick stop suddenly turns into a citation, and in some cases, you may not even be allowed to continue towing until the problem is fixed. The good news is that these issues are usually easy to avoid. Before hitting the road, make sure your towing equipment is properly installed. Check that all your lights are working. Make sure your safety chains are correctly attached. And if your setup requires a supplemental braking system, make sure it's functioning properly. A few minutes of preparation can save you from expensive fines, unexpected delays, and a dangerous situation on the highway. Speaking of equipment that many RV owners don't think twice about, the number one item on our list isn't something you buy at a camping store. It's something many people accidentally create without even realizing it. One of the most common and most overlooked mistakes RV owners make is simply carrying too much weight. It starts innocently enough. You add a generator, a couple of e-bikes, extra tools, camping gear, a full freshwater tank, maybe a few lithium batteries and solar equipment. Individually, none of those seem like a problem, but together, they can push your RV well beyond its rated weight limits. Every RV is built with a gross vehicle weight rating, often called the GVWR. It also has axle weight limits that are designed to keep the vehicle operating safely. Exceeding those limits puts extra stress on your tires, your suspension, your brakes, and your frame. It can also increase stopping distances, make the RV harder to control in an emergency, and create serious liability issues if you're involved in an accident. Imagine heading out on a family road trip with everything packed for several weeks on the road. The RV feels perfectly normal until one of the rear tires fails at highway speed. If investigators determine the RV was significantly overloaded, what looked like an unfortunate tire failure could become a much bigger legal and insurance problem. The easiest way to avoid this is to know your numbers. After loading your RV for a trip, weigh it at a certified public scale. Then, compare the results to your manufacturer's weight ratings. If you're over the limit, remove unnecessary cargo or redistribute the weight before you travel. It only takes a few extra minutes. But staying within your RV's rated capacity can help keep you safer, protect your investment, and prevent a small mistake from turning into a very expensive one. Most of the items we've covered today aren't things people carry because they're trying to break the law. They're mistakes that happen because the rules aren't always obvious, and they can change depending on where you travel. That's why taking a few minutes to check your equipment, understand the regulations, and prepare before each trip can save you from fines, denied campground entry, or even much bigger problems down the road. The good news is that almost every item on today's list is completely avoidable. You don't need to stop carrying useful gear. You don't need to cancel your travel plans. You just need to know the rules before you hit the road. A few minutes spent checking campground policies, state regulations, and federal land restrictions can save you from expensive surprises. Now we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever encountered an unexpected RV rule or campground restriction that caught you off guard? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might help another RVer avoid the same mistake. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest RV tips, travel guides, and product reviews. Thanks for watching, travel safely, and we'll see you in the next RV adventure.